us are going to be working from home over the next few months. Well, that's great in theory, but for most of us, our home isn't equipped or set up for home working. Here at eTop Technology, we're going to share some tips and tools for making home working a little easier. Let's look first at setting up your internet connection. Many home internet systems weren't designed for home working. With the family watching videos, playing online games and browsing the internet, the demand on your Wi-Fi is likely to be high already. But there are several things that you can do to improve your internet connectivity. Step 1 is to bypass your Wi-Fi completely by connecting your laptop or computer directly to your internet router using a wired Ethernet cable. Most Wi-Fi routers will have at least 2 ports for an Ethernet cable. They're often coloured yellow. Not only will you get a faster connection between your computer and your router using a cabled connection, but you'll often avoid competing for Wi-Fi bandwidth, which will slow you down. If a hardwired connection isn't possible, step 2 is to position your Wi-Fi router in the best place. You'll get the best Wi-Fi speed if you place it as near to your main phone point as possible. House wiring isn't designed to carry broadband and will slow your connection considerably. But there's little point in having a fast connection if your router is shielded by thick walls or metal screens, such as your TV. Even moving your router a few feet can very often help. Step 3 is to think about the speed that your internet contract gives you. If you're starting to work from home because of the current crisis, but only have a basic contract with slow speed, it might be possible to upgrade your contract to a faster speed. It's worth thinking about. Step 4 is a little more complicated. Most routers today offer 2 different networks, one at 2.4 GHz and one at 5 GHz. The 5 gig network is much faster, but routers often use the same SSID network name for both networks and leave it to your device to choose which to connect to. Not only does this mean you have no control over which network your devices choose, but it also means that your computer, your phone and other internet-dependent kit can flip-flop between the 2 networks, causing frustrating dropouts and crashes. The solution is to give each network a different SSID name and tell your devices which one to connect to. To do this, you'll need to access your router's web management page. Here's how I modified mine. First, find your router's IP address. It'll probably be in the instructions that came with the box, or if you know its name, you can Google it. Enter the IP address in your browser, and you'll get the home page. Here's mine. It shows the gadgets that are connected to each of the networks. My iPad and the family computer are connected to the slower 2.4 gig network, and my iPhone and iMac, the ones that I use for home working, are both connected to the faster 5 gig network. To make the change, I had to go to Advanced Settings and enter the password, which was conveniently on the back of my router. Then I clicked on the sub-menu for the wireless network, and as you can see, the SSID name for the 2.4 GHz network is PlusNet G9PT, and for the 5 gig network, I simply added the figure 5 after PlusNet, making it PlusNet 5 G9PT. It really was that simple. And here's what it looks like on my iPhone. Go to Settings, Wi-Fi, and there are the 2 separate networks from the same router. Now I can tell my devices which network to connect to. Your router may even have more than 2 networks, so you might be able to keep one of the 5G networks entirely for your work. And finally, if you're still having problems because your Wi-Fi transmitter is a long way from your workspace, or you're getting a poor quality signal, and you can't run an Ethernet cable, you could try using a Wi-Fi repeater or extender. This is a second device that you place somewhere else in the house that can extend the range of your router to hard-to-reach parts of your house. You can often make use of a spare router, or you can buy a dedicated repeater. Setting up a repeater can be a little complicated, and the team at eTop Technology will be glad to offer advice. If you follow these simple steps, you can maximize your internet connection and take some of the stress out of home working. In the next few videos, we'll look at some of the great software you can use to make home working a little easier and more fun. And remember, if you need help with any of this, contact eTop Technology. We're here to help.